If today's episode resonates with you, then perhaps you need to check out my Healthy, Wealthy and Kind retreat here in Bali. It's for salon owners, clinic owners, spa owners, and it's in Bali for 5 days with me. Very small group, 5-star resort. Trust me, you'll love it. Absolutely life-changing. The link is below. Now back to the episode. Welcome back, everybody, to Salon Conversations. Today, I wanted to talk to you about being tired. So the title is, business is good, business is fine. So why are you so tired? I feel like tired is a version of stressed. Like when you're tired, it's because you don't get the rest. And why aren't you getting the rest? So I feel that a lot of people just expect to be tired. They expect to be stressed. They just expect it. And when you expect something, that's pretty much what you get. So I can remember years and years ago, the chap that I worked for 16 years, he said to me, which I just ruffled my feathers. He said, if you want to be a salon owner, get used to eating shit because you'll have to. You just have to take people's shit all the time. And I just thought, no, I don't think you do. He said, yes, you do. The ones that earn the most will give you the most grief, the most shit, the most stress, but they make you money, so you put up with them. And I always thought, no, I don't agree. And it's just because my values were different to his. Like I didn't value wealth over my happiness. I had to be happy. I can't do things unless I enjoy it. I just really struggle, always have. So for me, teaching salon owners to put their self first, to be healthy first, to understand what wealth is, and it's not necessarily money, it's freedom, it's choice. Being wealthy is living a rich life. Some people live a rich life with not a lot of money, and some people have a lot of money and they definitely don't live a rich and full life. They're time poor, they struggle, they accept that the stress is just what it is and that's what happens, and they're generally people who want to control things. And I disagree. I just think I'd rather have half the amount of money and twice the amount of joy. That's just me, right? So that may not be you, but I think money is very important because it can help you to feel safe. It gives you the ability to gift somebody something, which is really joyful, to be able to help someone who's had bad luck or something go wrong. So I think it's really important. Money is really important. But I also think that we waste a lot of money. Like the more money you have, the more you waste. I remember when I was making lots of money in the salon, I just bought more expensive shoes. I just bought more clothes. And when I was raising little babies and I wasn't working for a couple of months, I just got things from the op shop. I still had the same joy of bringing home something new to add to my wardrobe, but I didn't spend lots of money on it. It took a bit more time to find a pair of something in the op shop, So I think that we just need to reflect on why are we so tired? And I think most people don't need to do a lot of the things that they do. And there's a sense of, I need to do that, I need to do that. And I don't know that you do. I think that you just need to let some things go, or as I say, let some fires burn and see what happens. Like if you didn't jump in and interact, what would happen? Find out. People work things out themselves. I remember when I had the Airbnb, they'd ring me and I'd just think, I can't answer it because I'm here now doing a podcast, so I can't answer it. And when I'd get back to answer it, they'd say, no, it's all good, it's all sorted. That happened this morning. One of my clients said, I can't do something like an IT thing. No, it's fine. Husband helped her. Good. I couldn't see the message to help her. And would I have helped her? Probably not. I would have just let it go because I think, well, it's pretty self-explanatory, but we all are looking at the wrong corner and pushing the wrong button. But if you just sit with something, you'll work it out. And so being at the middle of everyone else's needing help, I think that's a dangerous place to be, right? So some people like that because they feel the secondary gain is they feel important. But I think teach leaders, right? Teach your people to be leaders. Teach them to look after themselves. Really, really important. Right? So the acceptance of tired. So if you've worked really hard, or like yesterday I was tired because my body was tired because I did a really good leg workout. So tired. I had a massage last night and I got into bed early because I was tired. But there was a reason why I'm tired, right? I don't like being tired because I can't stop thinking about something. That's a horrible way to be tired. That's mentally tired. I don't mind being physically tired, but mentally tired, I think, is really hard. And I just don't think you can have a healthy business with an unhealthy body. Like, I just think our results come from our body. And if we don't look after our body, as in aches and pains and sick and bloated and all of those things, everyone's harder to manage when you don't feel well. But when you feel like super duper and healthy, and things don't seem as big. So I really do believe your greatest strength is to look after yourself and be healthy. And I've been blessed. I've just been blessed with a really petite physique. I've got heavy at times, but not a lot. 5-10 kilos is huge on a little body like mine, but it wasn't the weight so much as the fogginess. I was overeating, not being able to sleep, worrying about things, and using food as a comfort thing. And, that amount of extra weight on me was like a fluidy, puffy kind of weight. If it had been lean muscle mass, it wouldn't have been a problem. But I was obsessed by, I don't want to put on weight, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. And it just wasn't working because mentally I wasn't well. And when I became mentally well, then physically well was easier. So it's a bit chicken and egg as to where you work, but overeating, overworking, drinking too much, perhaps gambling, all the things that you wished you didn't do, but you do, are all kind of signs that you're stressed and you're tired. I remember this therapist saying to me, we need to find out what's the emotion that you do when you eat. Was it I'm hungry? And she said, yeah, you probably are hungry, but there's other times when you're frustrated or something happens and you want to eat. And I remember thinking, she'd ask me next week, did you track? I said, yeah, I just ate when I was hungry, but I'd overeat. And then one day I got off the phone from someone that was annoying, and I went and just looked in the cupboard and found the chocolate. And I thought, that's what she's saying. So it's like I needed a reward for putting up with somebody. And that's stressful. That's tiring. It's not pleasant. And so the reward was, let's find that chocolate and eat it because I'll feel better. Like, here you go, good girl, have a block of chocolate. Pretty silly, really. But I think we're all guilty of doing something because we believe we deserve a reward for living the life we're living. And I'm thinking, no, it's just a gift, living the life you're living. So being healthy is really around looking at yourself. What are the behaviours that you do? Do you not drink water? It would be better if you drank water. Why? Because water is 90% of what we're made up of. So being dehydrated makes us more tired. So they're all kind of tied in together, but definitely, running on caffeine, adrenaline, obligation to everybody, eventually your body will send you the invoice that says, have this. Really? Yeah, you do. Whether it's reflux or I had SIBO, which is small bacterial intestine overgrowth, which means that you're supposed to have that bacteria, but not the amounts that I had. So it didn't matter what I ate. I just turned it into gas, bloating, and it was a sugar, too much sugar, love cake. And so I had to learn that that's not good for me. So by coming off sugar, which was so hard, it was like coming off a drug, not that I've ever done that, but what I'd imagine, I just had to keep talking myself through it. And then I get to the stage where I don't eat much sugar at all. Like, I wouldn't have refined sugar, but I still have fruit and yogurt and bread because they're all sugars. But if I have too much of those, I want more. I want more. It just ticks the box in me more. So if I go to eat protein and savoury things that don't have sugar in them, like even a chicken sandwich, the bread is the sugar. But if I go really hard and stop having fruit and all sorts of, rice and things that are carbohydrates, I only eat when I'm hungry. It's fascinating. But there's something in the food that triggers for me, I want more. If I have an apple, what else you got? If I have a handful of nuts, I eat the handful of nuts. Done. So everybody's got their own sense of what triggers you to want more and to be tired. And I also find that the spike in the sugar, the up, this is so good, the down, I find that exhausting too. So if I can keep my fruit or sugar intake to a minimum of 1 dose a day, so if I have a toasted chicken sandwich or a toasted tuna sandwich, that's it, you've had it, right? But if I can have fruit and yogurt and that's it, I pick it, that's it, done. And then that seems to keep me regulated. So I know that food is huge for me, whereas some people it's not that big a deal, but I'm pretty sensitive to food and how it makes me feel. And that's probably because of my ADHD. And I remember years ago when I was a young girl, one of my friends had a child who just was off the planet if you gave him red cordial. Whereas a lot of kids, you give them red cordial, doesn't matter. That's it. So some people are more sensitive. And usually neurodiverse people, meaning autism and ADHD or any of those, they are generally more sensitive. So sometimes your tiredness can be related to not necessarily your salon, but the way you look after yourself, that you're smelling on, you're running on black coffee, you know. And when I was younger, I could do that. I remember I drank cups of tea all day and had dim sims or potato cakes. And I seemed to be able to manage it when I was in my 20s. I can't now. So we do get more sensitive as we get older because our machinery is getting older, like an old car. You know, you can't just thrash the old car. You got to warm it up a bit and look after it, and you just do. And so our bodies are really, really powerful. I think that being needed isn't being valued, right? Because your team needs you, that doesn't make you valuable. It makes you needed. It's very different, you know, like I think that there's a time and a place where people should check in with you, but I think we need to give them enough instructions. So slow down, do the instructions really well, and then see what happens. Let them fail a little bit and then help them and say, instead of saying, oh, you should have done this, say, if you had your time again, what would you do? Right? Because every time you empower someone to use their brain, you're not wearing yours out. Because the thing that makes us the most tired is our brain. So often you'll travel, you might be on a plane and then on a bus and in a car and you're exhausted and you think, well, you only sat still. So why am I so exhausted? Because when you travel, you're out of your normal zone. And so you're watching out and being aware and seeing what time that is and being in the right lane in the right place. And it's actually using a lot of your brain. And so using a lot of your brain will make you tired, more so than if you do physical tired. Physical tired is a joy. Mentally tired is really hard. And you think, well, how could I be tired? I've done nothing all day. No, you did. You put yourself in a unpredictable situation, which meant that your brain was really working. When I started taking medication for my ADHD, it blew me away that I didn't need all the sleep I used to get. I was always 8-9 hours. I could sleep 10 hours every night if I had the time, and I could have a nap in the day. And now, since I take Concerta, it's a slow release ADHD medication, I can't sleep in the day. I can lie down and rest, but I cannot sleep. And it's not because I can't switch my brain off. I'm just not tired. Whereas I used to be exhausted. And the way that I would escape my busy brain was to sleep. Now I'm not exhausted, so I don't need to. So it's fascinating. I get heaps more done. And even as a child, I needed a lot of sleep. Mum said I was the only kid she never had to put into bed to put myself in, right? So I was wired this way. Learning to know what your strengths are and what you need to work on is really powerful. But being needed by everyone isn't being valued. It really isn't. It means that they're using your brain and wearing you out. And so what I would suggest is that you teach them to use their brain and just be okay. Just say, yeah, if you get it wrong, we'll fix it. It's okay, right? Just accept that people fail and learn. Not very many people learn when they win. They learn from when they mucked it up, right? The other thing that I would say is that rest is really productive. Like even if I can't sleep in the day, I can still lie down and close my eyes. And just that rest, just physically resting, mentally meditating, or just thinking about your breath or just focusing on one thing is really restful. So when people get really shitty that they can't sleep, I think, well, okay, so you can't sleep. Just give it over and say, I woke up at 1 a.m. and just lie there. Don't go and get all antsy about it because you're still resting, right? So you're not using your arms, your legs, you're just resting. So just count breaths, like stay there and accept that sometimes you're not sleeping, but you're still resting. And rest is really important. And so quite often in the day, I know I get a bit jumpy, like, oh, when somebody makes it, I think, what was that? Whereas normally, if I'm not, my vagus nerve is settled, if someone makes a noise, I go, oh, what was that? But when I'm a bit stressed, what was that? Like it's a fright, and I get startled easily. And then I know I need to just do a bit of meditation. So I listen to a Wim Hof app. I think it's 10 minutes. It just lies down. It says manifest your dreams and start with your toes. And so I just listen and I do that. And sometimes I do it a couple of times a day. And sometimes I don't do it for weeks, but I know the importance of rest. And when I do that, I could just lay down flat, just hop on the floor and lay down flat. It's like a reset for me. It's really, really valuable to me. So that kind of rest without sleeping is really important, right? So looking after yourself is your job. It's not my job. It's your job. And when people say, oh, I'm too busy, and I think, really? So I challenged someone the other day and she said, oh, I said, what are you going to do to reset? She said, I'll just keep working on this. And I said, no, you didn't hear me. That's not resetting, right? Resetting is removing yourself from your situation and having some time to yourself. So that's why I like the retreat. When I get you away from everything, your salon, your family, your country, and I bring you here and I have 5 days, it's just life-changing because just being away means that you're not clouded by all of that noisiness. And so I said, okay, well, because she said she just couldn't. She had this one on holidays and this one on maternity leave. You know how it goes. And I said, okay, so what if your mum or your child, and so her case, she said, yeah, her child, if your child needed to go to the hospital and have an operation tomorrow, would you remove yourself? She said, yeah, absolutely. I said, so that tells me that you're prepared to take a rest and step off, although that wouldn't be a rest, but you're prepared to remove yourself from your business because of another situation that needs you, but you won't do it for you. And there's the problem, right? I don't think she got it, but in time she might. But she can remove herself and be there for someone else, her child, as you would. But when are you going to do it for you? And even if you don't do it for 2 days, do it for half a day. Like just go to the book, look at the client's name, ring them up and say, I'm really sorry, something's come up and I can't look after you that time. I've got 2 choices. I can do it tomorrow night or I can do it next week, but I can't do it that time. Or I can give you 2 and name the other person. You can do it. Like if your child was sick, you do it. So do it for you. Nobody is more important than you because if you are well, happy and in balance, everybody around you is, right? But we have, not sure my screen's doing that, but we have this not now. I can't do it now. I can't rest now. Like the fact that you can't rest now is proof that you need the rest, right? You're listening? I'm going to say it again. The fact that you can't rest now is proof that you need the rest, right? So for me, I'm really good at it now, but I didn't used to be, is I had 2 times. Not now, not now. I can't do that now. Oh, I love to do that, but I can't do that now. Not now, not now, not now. And then the only other time was now. Shit, tomorrow. Oh, I didn't know it was tomorrow. Like even the last time my sister came, I hope she never listens to this. She said, she sent a text. I knew she was coming soon because she told me, I can't wait to come on all that, right? She bought a ticket. I knew that. It's written down somewhere. And she said, so excited. I'm finally at the airport, just sitting here in peace, ready to board the plane to Bali. And I'm thinking, shit, is that today? Like, that's just what I do. I'm just not now, not now, not now, now, like not good. But I've learned to just accept that's me. And so you can write a Post-it note and whatever, but somehow it always works out. Simon had a birthday 2 days ago and he said, it's my birthday. He forgot. I forgot. His daughter rang and said, happy birthday, Dad. And he goes, I thought it was tomorrow. Like, We don't care, but that would offend people. I know some people who just would say I'm hopeless or useless or whatever, and I think that's your opinion. We don't value a particular day. I just think be good to the people that you love every day, not on their birthday, right? That's only my opinion. I was raised in a family where we didn't make a fuss of birthdays. I don't think anyone ever blew out a cake, ever. I think we had a party when we were 10 that had a cake, but no one no one did. We just didn't. So I can't understand the big fuss. But other people make a big fuss of birthday. Some people have it like a week of celebrations. Some people use it as a fundraiser to get the things they want. You do you, but we don't worry about birthdays, except the things you cannot change, and have the courage to change the things that matter to you. And I think if you're really tired, it's because probably you're not resting, you're not looking after yourself, you're not taking time out, and you're still fighting against something. Like, rarely do your team members say to you, go away, I can do all this. Like some do, but a lot go, can you do this for me? And your children are the same. Mom, can you do this? You think, oh, bring it here. But somewhere along the line, we've got to start saying, I think you can do it. Why can't you do it? I'd like you to do this for me. And they go, oh, do I have to do it? Yeah, you do. Like there's some sort of shifting over. And I believe that it's the same when we have children. We do everything. They can't do anything. A brand new baby can't do a damn thing, can't feed itself, can't do anything. We do everything. And I think sometimes when we start our salon, we do everything. And that's how we start. But at some point, you have to move on. So when a baby's 6 weeks old, you're still doing everything, let's be honest. That wasn't a very good example. 6 months old, maybe they can hold a bottle themselves. And 6 years old, they can go to primary school. And when they're 16, they go to high school. Like it just progresses. So if you're still doing everything for everyone in your business, so many months in or years in, then you've got to ask yourself, why haven't they graduated? Why haven't they moved up to the next level, right? I said this to someone the other day. We need to get in the elevator and go up to the next level because, yes, I can see that you're making an effort, but there's no real, this is what happened and why. Why did we not make any movement on the rebooking? You tell me. Not, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. No. The reason I think most people are so tired is they're too involved in everything. They're not doing enough training and they're not handing over the outcome, right? The greatest thing you can do is train a team member because if you train the team member to do it, there'll be a time in the future when you won't need to. So if you're doing all of the work on the floor or you're doing all of the training or you're doing all of the cleaning or you're doing all of the disciplining, then that's on you. Get out of the middle. I say most salon owners are like big gum trees. They stand in the middle and the rain doesn't get underneath to water the plants. They're taking up most of the nutrients in the soil beneath and it's very hard to grow beside a big gum tree. Very hard. It's in the shade. There's not enough water and it's just hard. So get out of the way and let people fail. And when you do that, you start to move things over. I remember when I made a timeline, I've done this a couple of times. I did it when I was coming off the salon floor. What are the things that I do? So the most difficult clients that I had down to the easiest clients. And the easiest clients came first. So I removed some of those blow waves, the simple things, and removed the tints. And then I removed these haircuts and I kept the curly haired clients. And I just had a timeline that within 6 or 7 months, I think it was, then I would be off the floor. But I had a timeline, right? So you can do it in services or you can do it in times. You could say, well, at first I'm going to remove a half a day and then I'm going to remove another half a day. And eventually you got, instead of 5 full days, you got 5 half days. And then you could reduce those down. So the timeline is really exciting and motivating for you. So you just need to say where it is. When I was coaching, it was the same. And I had a franchise of coaches. The first thing I'd stop doing, the second thing I'd stop doing, and the last thing I did was the calls when the client wanted to leave, and then I'd do that call because I felt like I was the neutral person who could say, well, what aren't you getting? Or where are you not showing up to the program? So that was the last thing, right? So just knowing what it is you do. And so in the portal, there's a time tracker that we use. So just track your time. Just how long did you take to do that or to do that or to do that? So this morning I did presented to the salons I look after, but I can't, and maybe it's just in my head, but I struggle to get off that call and straight away do a podcast. Just need a bit of time. Like I've fiddled around and emptied the cat litter and I don't know, done some things in the garden and moved some pots around, and I just need a little bit of time. I can't just bang, bang, bang. Just can't. Maybe can't, don't want to. I don't know what the word is, but I don't enjoy it. I feel like I need to sit down, write my notes, think about what I want to say, and then I feel like I do it in a way that I enjoy it, right? So if your battery is flat and you accept that I've always got a flat battery, that's not a good place to be. You don't have to be, right? You don't have to always have a flat battery, but you need to look at where you spend your time. You really, really do. And I often tell the story of when my twins were born. I took them in to see Dr. Kitty, my GP, and she was just this beautiful woman, probably about my age when I think about it now. I was 26. She would have been probably in her 50s or 60s, probably in her 60s, I'd say. And the first thing she said, she go, oh, picked one up. So I held one and she held one, and she said, how often do we bath these boys? And I said, every day, thinking, what a silly question. And she goes, meh, I don't think they're dirty. I think what we could do, how long does it take, she said. And I said, end to end, probably about an hour. She goes, well, I think every second day. She goes, when you change their nappy, you wipe their bottoms and they're clean. And when they spill milk on themselves, they were tiny little things. Jakey was little 3 pound and Aaron was 4 pound. And they're probably 5 and 6 when I brought them home. And she said, every second night's good. She said, where do you bath them? I said, well, I put them in, at the moment we've got in the kitchen sink. She said, yeah, soon you put them in with the little one. So my daughter was sitting in the bath. She was like 18 months old. And then we just undress one, put it in the water with her, and they'd kick and splash and then just put it on the ground. So she said, you're doing 2 things at once, and we're doing it every second day. It was just absolutely gold. It just opened the door for me to realize that I don't have to do everything. Sometimes we don't need to do everything. You know, she said, cleaning a shower, had a cleaning lady, but she said every second week will be fine. Just scrub a bit harder. So when you start to think about what are the things you could not do and give away, you know, like it's opposite actually for ordering stock. Some people order stock once a month and it's such a big job. I'd say order it every week. Just replace what you sold. You sold 27 products, order 27 products. Done. You know, so just cut and dice it every way that you can to remove yourself, and you'll be less tired. All right? Walking, drinking, water, sunshine, sleep, all of the things that you need are free. You just got to find time, right? And that's the good news. So just go for a walk. Like I remember working with one of the coaches and I said, come on, we'll go for a walk. She goes, oh, I didn't bring my walking gear. I said, you don't need it. Because I had a dog, and she'd be antsy to go, and there was no way she'd go to the toilet in my apartment. So I had to take her out. So 20 minutes around the block and back, done. Do that 2 or 3 times a day. It's good for you and it's good for the dog, and you don't need walking clothes. You're not running, you're just walking. So probably not flip-flops or thongs as we call them, maybe just sneakers. So just dress nice, pull my sneakers off, round you go, back, done. Sometimes we just make it big and complex. It's not. Just start small with little things and make habit. So I get to that stage where I haven't been out and it doesn't feel right. So just get out, walk around the block, come back, and it feels right. Right? So you're in charge of you. That's the good news. But it's also sometimes you need to remove that old version of you and replace it with a good version, because everybody who loves you wants you to be happy. Everybody. And the happier you are, the more accepting that you are of things go well and things go shit. There's a sign up here that says even a bad day in Bali is better than a good day anywhere else. And that's my truth. It really is. But there were other people who've been to Bali and got sick and they'd think, oh, never going back to that place. Just accept we're all different. It's okay. Right? Just do you, because you're the most important person in your life is you. The happier you are, the healthier you are, the wealthier you are in ways of richness. Good for you. Don't be late like me. It took me a long time to really put myself first. And if I had my time again, I would have learnt those kind of skills much earlier, because I'm better when I feel good. Better at everything. People do better when they know better. So just start small and work on that. So hopefully that was really helpful. Yeah, look after you. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.